First Premier League victory for Tottenham in this calendar year. The breath there tells me you're very relieved.
Yes, extremely relieved. It's been a long time coming. Hence why they're in the position they're in at the moment, not having won in 2026. It was important with the games they got left. They've got to try and win all 5 games to try and give themselves a chance of staying in the Premier League. And this was always going to be a tough game. But one, you felt if they didn't win, you could kiss goodbye to the Premier League, and they've just kept themselves in a position where they'll keep themselves fighting.
Yeah, pretty much built on that performance against Brighton last time out. They didn't manage to get the victory then, but today they did. How important, and do you agree with what Les just said, that if they didn't manage the victory here, you could have pretty much kissed them goodbye?
Well, you like to think so, simply because you're looking at a Tottenham side that are not really used to being in this position. And, you know, when you're looking at the teams around them who have got a bit of momentum in what they're doing, Tottenham seem to be the only team, like, you know, that the first win in 2026, you know, that weren't getting wins, that weren't being able to build confidence and get momentum. So that win, you hope for Spurs fans, will give them the platform for them to then go on now, maybe win the next games coming up, because I think they've got Villa next. It's going to be some tough games. I think Villa's next. That's going to be a tough game. So if they're going to do it like Paulinho said, they've got 5 cup finals, whatever it is left. And they're going to have to be as that resolute, and they're going to have to take the chances.
Yeah, Paulinho said this win means so much more. You can understand, given where they are in the Premier League. And it was his goal that sealed the victory.
Yeah, and for a while this went to VAR, and we weren't sure whether it was going to be given, but we just see
Matt Doherty
just stay in there, and Paulinho, as the ball's played, is onside. When he actually touches it, he looks like he's offside, but it was a much-needed victory and 3 points that Spurs needed, and you can see the celebrations from the manager and the rest of the team. That there's a lot of relief there.
Yeah, as much as it is about Paulinho's goal, it's also about the save from Kinsey in the 98th minute.
Fantastic save. You know, obviously he's coming from a long distance away, but you know, you'd expect him to save it, but it was a save he had to make. He has to cover ground and get across. It's very well hit. Yes, granted it is going in towards him, but he's had to cover some ground. He's been under a lot of pressure, and I think that save will do him a lot of good, because whatever we say, it was a fantastic save, because the free kick was really good. The free kick was really good in respects of the calibre of free kick. He got it on target, make the goalkeeper make a save, and he made a great save.
Yeah, first victory, the 15-match winners run now over for Spurs, but it did come at a bit of a cost, because there are 2 key players injured in that one, Xavi Simons and Solanke as well.
Yeah, and that's where you feel like when things are not going well for you, they really don't go well for you. You know, Solanke goes in an innocuous challenge and looks like he's injured himself again. It looks like a hamstring and he's gone off, but he's walked off, so hopefully it's not too bad. And then we saw Xavi Simons just jar his knee there, and this looked a lot worse. He got stretchered off, and I'm not sure we'll see him again this season. The way he came off the pitch there and the way he went down, it looked like a serious injury. So, yeah, when you're down there at the bottom, things don't always go your way.
It's really unlucky as well, because when you look at Spurs and the medical department and the players that they've got injured and how long it's taken players to come back, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, depending on what they're going to do with Xavi Simons. And the same with Solanke, they've got in respects of getting them back quick enough. Hopefully they can stay up and they can have that calibre of players starting next season with a fresh, you know, impetus to get going again. But that, for me, looked... that's something for me, they need to look into, and that's the sports science department at Tottenham.
Do you know, when you look at when you say that, you know, and you look at the medical department, yeah, they've had a load of injuries and their players seem to take a long time to come back. But what they do is, it's not just the medical department, because they ship these guys out to some of the best people in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I know Kudus has been in Amsterdam having treatment, and he's still not right. So, you know, what's available to them around the world in terms of the doctors and the physicians, they're seeing the best of the best. But there's something fundamentally wrong that
right there.
They're not coming back in the manner that they need to come back.
The feeling like when that ball goes into the back of the net and you see the fans around you. You mentioned just off camera that the players jumped on your head, but you're seeing the fans get up on their feet and celebrating.
Yeah, it's amazing to share that with them. They've created a great atmosphere today, especially when we was 1-0 up, and yeah, it's fantastic to score. I think it's probably a little bit of relief. It's been a while. Probably a little bit of frustration in there as well and things like that. So you have a point to prove ultimately when you do come on the field and you're not playing as regularly as you want to. And hopefully now we can kick on, I can kick on and try and add a few more before the end of the season.
David, how are you feeling at the end of that? Immensely frustrated, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't think we deserve to lose 3 points, that's for sure. Very similar to probably last week's game in lots of ways, you know, that we played well enough at times in the game. Moments where we didn't do it quite so well, but we didn't really deserve to come away with nothing.
Nuno, it's always good to be playing in meaningful matches at this time of year. This one, of course, a very meaningful one for you and West Ham, and it went right to the end, didn't it? It was a crazy final few minutes.
Yeah, we knew how it was going to be tough till the end, but important that we keep believing, the boys keep fighting till last minute. I think it's something that we already have in our character, and that's really positive for us.
Yeah, it was positive indeed to get that late winner from Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
This relegation race is not for the weak.
No, it's not. You know what I mean? You know, it's tough enough trying to support, when you support a team that's trying to win it, the stress. I can't imagine what it's like for the stress levels for a team that might be going down. You look at Tottenham, you know, what they've done today, I think that might help them. But then West Ham scoring as late as they did is massive because of their momentum and what they're doing. And this is the difference with West Ham and Tottenham at the moment. You do feel like West Ham can scrape through these results, whereas Tottenham are not used to it. West Ham are more used to being down this end of the table. And they've done it again, bringing on the experienced Callum Wilson, and he scores right at the death there. It's a really, really good finish from West Ham.
Yeah, how pleased were you both for Callum Wilson to get this winner, starting with you, Les?
Yeah, no, you know, his time on the pitch has been limited, but this is what you know he's capable of doing, getting into those positions, getting in the box at vital times and scoring those all-important goals. And that is going to be so vital to West Ham. And as Wright said, the word he used was momentum, and I think West Ham have got some really good momentum at the moment. And this just summed it up, because when after Everton scored, you felt Everton were getting themselves back into the game. So for them to turn that round, it's a great result for West Ham.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Wilson and how happy you are that...
Well, you know, the thing with Callum, he's somebody, I'm not sure if he's going to be there for next season. I think that's, he's there till the end of this season, but he's a goal scorer at this level, and he can score goals at this level. He's somebody that can do a job, and he's shown it again there with his experience. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him next season. But what I'm pleased for him, for me, in respects of Callum, is that he's still showing that at this stage, and when it matters, he can still come up with the goods.
He's now 6 goals shy of hitting triple figures, the 100-goal club, of which you are both members.
Yes. He'll be welcome.
It's exclusive.
Yeah, it's exclusive. He'll be welcome.
Yeah, we've actually done that.
OK, we'll play this to him when he gets there. Right, at 1-0, Everton thought they should have had a penalty for a handball. I think you were pretty adamant that it was a penalty.
I mean, when I saw this, I was like, yes, you know, if it's your team, you're not understanding why you haven't got this. It's just, I know he's put his arms around him. Should he put his arms around him?
No.
And look where the ball goes. Takes it away from the player. So I know VAR looked at it and said it wasn't a penalty, but I'm still struggling to understand how that's not a penalty.
Honestly, I don't know. You know, it's meant to be, is your hand in a natural position? His hand's not meant to be on the defender in the first place in the box. So for his hand not only to be on the defender, but be around him enough to touch the ball away from him, to move the ball away from him, which he's getting under control. How can they not give that as a penalty? It doesn't make sense. It's a terrible decision from the VAR and the referees.
So the penalty not given, Everton went on to equalise, but West Ham found a winner through Callum Wilson. We're going to stay with... Oh, what a huge result for Forest in this relegation battle. And I know that people have said the 40-point mark is the magical one for Leeds, but they still play Spurs and West Ham. Just looking at those remaining Premier League fixtures, it's tough to call, isn't it?
It's tough to call, but it's in their hands. I think they probably need a point. They probably feel they just need a point to get over the line. In recent years, I think it's, 38 points has been enough.
Yeah, 38, 40, yeah.
Yeah, they're over that now.
But you look at it, Les, though, you feel like the way it's going for Leeds, you could say, you know, Burnley, you'd fancy them, the way they're playing. Tottenham away, you'd see. And even if they got a draw with Brighton and West Ham, they're safe. I think they're safe now, Leeds.
Yeah. For Forest, you know, last night, on paper, I know that's not how the game's played, but that was probably the most winnable of their remaining fixtures. Do you agree?
Yeah, totally agree. And again, when you look at them, you'd rather be in their position than the other two's positions right now. Do you know what I mean? In West Ham and Tottenham's position, I'd rather be in Forest, rather be in Leeds' position, where the teams have got to catch you. But when you look at the result, the teams that they've got to play against, you'd like to think you don't see them winning many of those games.
Yeah,
And
but
they
you
still
look
have that Europa League semi-final to come as well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And then you've got Newcastle. I think them Forest will beat Newcastle at home, so they'll probably be safe as well.
All right, what about West Ham and Spurs?
Well, I think it's going to be out of them two, isn't it?
I mean,
yeah.
There's two games I'd probably give Spurs an opportunity to win. I don't see them winning away at Villa. At home it's tough as well, but Leeds, because of the circumstances.
Yeah, Leeds might be safe.
They'll sort of like. I look for them to win that. Chelsea's always a
Chelsea away is
they're not going to win that, and then Everton at home, you'd have to say yes.
The relegation battle, and it could very well.
We knew how it was going to be tough till the end, but important that we keep believing. The boys keep fighting till last minute. I think it's something that we already have in our character, and that's really positive for us.
Big moment towards the end at 1-0, a handball which didn't lead to a penalty kick.
I think the VAR are saying grappling. Well, the centre forward wasn't grappling, it was the boy marking him was grappling. Also put his two hands round him, and he put his hand towards the ball. He didn't. It wasn't as if his hand was there and the ball came up and hit it. He reacted and he punched the ball away. So I'm amazed that they've not given a penalty kick for it.
It's a fantastic fan base. I knew that when I joined the club, and our home games are going to be really important, and we're going to need them every match to be the 12th man, and there was that today, especially when we went 1-1 so late on. They were getting behind us, they were cheering to try and get us going again, and then, like I say, it was nice to reward them with a goal because they've been through some tough times, and hopefully better times ahead with us staying up this season first and foremost.
There's a real resilience about them at the moment, isn't there? And that hasn't been, well, it certainly wasn't there for the first half of the season.
I was there on the 6th of January when Forest beat them 2-1 and they were 7 points behind, and I thought they were gone. And it was fractious to say the least, the atmosphere. Now it's a complete change. The work rate of the team, the performance, the atmosphere in the stadium, the desire from the players. I mean, I think Disasi, Mavropanos has done well as well, but Disasi was in that bomb squad at Chelsea, and this is a West Ham fan on the pitch. Look, this is early on. He's saying to Barry, I'm in charge here. Look at the response from the fans. Souček, another giant of a man, gets to it first. Really important role that he plays in the club. And you see it time and time again. Look at this, authority in the way that you play. Look, get away, that's my ball. And then the way that he responds afterwards, it's like, come on, give me more of this. And Souček, some of the defending as well, they've really put it on the line. Every one of them, Diouf, the whole lot. Look at Souček again, and then Disasi getting rid of it. And then they're spinning to one another the whole time. Come on, let's do it. They're giving everything on that pitch. I love it. I love watching it. How did that stay out? It's inspired defending, and they just keep doing it throughout. And you can see them pulling it off now. I never thought they would. But it's all come from the manager, and incredible transfer. Unity in that stadium. They go away, the West Ham fans now feeling they've got hope.
Jared Bowen there, so it's a step in the right direction. And if you have a goal scorer, and Callum Wilson is a goal scorer, he might not be able to do a full 90 minutes as much anymore, but you have a chance, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think Callum Wilson, very experienced striker, coming off the bench, you want your subs to have impacts, and he certainly does that in such an important game. And I think for me, it's about strikers knowing where to be, and at this time, he's in the right position. The ball isn't the greatest ball, it gets cleared, but I think as a striker, it's about what's next, where can I be, how can I read the flight of the ball, and he is a perfect example of never ever standing still. And from this angle, you notice how he kind of gambles, and also the instincts of a striker is just to hit it into the ground and get it in there. Kyle Walker-Peters does an amazing job to get out of the way, but for Callum Wilson,
clever
he loves
finish,
scoring against Everton, and how important that goal can be for West Ham.
David Moyes said he was surprised that this wasn't given as a penalty, the Fernandes handball. Are you surprised that it wasn't even looked at, the two of you?
I think that's the biggest thing that we thought, was that there wasn't really a check from VAR. I personally think it's a penalty. I think we've seen some of them being given.
You assume they're checking everything, though, chappers, don't you, really?
Well, they are doing, aren't they?
Yeah,
They have to be. It's not like he went out for a cup of coffee and missed it.
No,
they are checking it.
I think he's lucky to get away with that, because he's grappling with his opponent, he's got his arms around him, and if his hand does hit the ball...
You take a risk being that tight to the player anyway, but I think the movement towards the ball, probably... I understand why David Moyes is upset, because I think...
Referee's got a good view of it, though,
yeah.
and it seems at the moment VAR doesn't really want to interfere with the referee's decision.
And David Moyes was, I suppose, right in that the hand whether he knew he was doing that or not, I suppose they haven't moved
It's a flick
towards it.
action from the hand, so you have to consider yourself to be lucky to get away with it.
Let's just go back to your point about when you saw them against Forest and they lost, and that came off the back actually of them being thrashed at Wolves as well. When Alan Shearer sat where Steph was and said he thought they were down, the form. I mean, that's where they are. They're only behind the two Manchester clubs, Arsenal, Liverpool and Bournemouth, for the points gained since they came back after those two defeats.
Yeah, I mean, Martin mentioned a lot of it, the resilience, the wanting to win, and I think you've seen a real turn in West Ham. And I think for me, the game plan is simple and players are really applying themselves. You look at Somerville, he's been really productive. Jared Bourne, and when it's mattered, then players have really stood up. But also from a defensive point of view, they do get you the points, and West Ham in really, really good form.
Play well, but today was very important. 3 points for the head, for the mentality is important this game, because when you don't win a game for a long time like us, he become a problem.
Coming up against a Tottenham team at the moment now, obviously fighting for their lives, so their motivation is going to be incredibly high. New manager, who's got loads of intensity, and we matched that. We more than matched that. Second half we looked stronger, we were pushing, and got done with a goal. So it's a difficult one to take, but we have to dust ourselves down, learn, and we have to be able to go again.
My goal it has the same importance that the King's Key save at the last minutes. For me, it's the same. Of course, we have responsibility in the position that we are, and for sure, it's not the position that Tottenham belong in any way. And we just have 4 finals until the end of the season, and we will do everything that we can.
We'll look at the Kinski save in just a moment, but we have a Spurs fan as part of the analysis team, and he's smiling for the first time in 2026, and he gave you about 112 clips to look at.
Yeah, we would have been here till tomorrow because Spurs have won. But yeah, first win in 15 matches for Spurs, and I think you can see that De Zerbi is putting his stamp on this team, I think, in terms of a structure, in terms of the team cohesion, even simple movements like running off the ball from Porro and that connection on the right-hand side that was a lot more evident today. Even there's instances here, I think if this was 4, 5, 6 games ago, this ball would have probably went back to the keeper and went forward, but that composure just to get on the ball under pressure and kind of relieve the pressure and find that spare play, which was Seaman's for a lot of today for Spurs. I think for me, one thing that Spurs need to really improve on is that final pass. When they get to the final third, what do they do? And I think this boy here, Matthias Tell, I think he could have potentially started ahead of Mwani. I think he was more impactful. He was more aggressive. He liked to run forward. And I think simple things like De Zerbi likes to switch the ball. Can Spurs do it quickly against a Wolves side that's been relegated? You've still got to do it. And Seamans was at the heart of that. Great block by Doherty. And in this instance here, Spurs were so aggressive. They were closer. They were more connected. And this ball from Gallagher to Richarlison, can you compose yourself? Don't make rash decisions. And that's something, if Spurs are going to stay up, they need to improve on, is that decision making. And Tell really mixed up his game. He really caused Wolves defenders a lot of problems and he never ever gave up, and that's something that we haven't seen from Spurs for a while. He really creates carnage and he creates a corner which is going to lead to the goal, and when you need someone, Polina, having that little bit of impact on the bench and getting that all-important first 3 points for De Zerbi, you can see he's so happy, but you can see that the Spurs team are really improving under him.
I suppose if you were a bit grumpy and miserable, you could say, well, are they only signs and it's signs against an already relegated side? But then if you're a bit more positive, you would say, well, they've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere, and I think if you're a fan of Spurs, you can see they're a lot more organised. They never gave away too many chances, and you've got a team that's a little bit more settled. Is it too late? We don't know yet, but I think it gives them a real big steer in the next 4 games. It's going to be tough, but they've got to try and win as many as they can.
And you'd have to have a heart of stone, wouldn't you, or support Forest, West Ham or Leeds, not to be pleased for Kinski.
Oh, yeah, without doubt, because it's late in the game. And Paulinho said it's just as important as the goal they score. So, I mean, it's a fantastic save. And you think what he went through in the Atletico Madrid team, manager puts him in, De Zerbi's giving him an opportunity. And that's what your keeper's there for. You know, he's quite brave there, gets it out, and he's growing in confidence, and they're going to need him, that's for sure, between now and the end of the season.
If people's opinions change on the title race from game to game, they're surely going to be doing the same here on the relegation battle. Let's show you the table, first of all, and then we'll look at the remaining fixtures, because Forest, and we'll show you their goals later, would have thought last night, amazing, what a signal we've sent out. Well, now West Ham and Spurs have done the same. Yeah,
they've both reacted, which I think when you get them 3 points on the board, it's up to the rest of the teams, and West Ham and Tottenham have done that. But yeah, chappers, these 4 teams, I think, for me personally, I do feel that Leeds and Forest are out of the equation. But you can never say what's going to happen with West Ham and Spurs.
When they're winning multiple games, Forest won 3 of the last 4, it's a shootout. And Spurs now are just joining the party. It might be too late for Spurs, but that Leeds game looks huge, doesn't it, on the 11th of May? But the next game is the one you're thinking about, because that sets you up for the one after that. You've really got to get 3 points.
Are you saying that you think that sort of Leeds and Forest and West Ham have maybe hit their run sooner, and that might leave Spurs too much to do?
Well, to win 2 games, Leeds, to go to Bournemouth and get something there, I mean, that's like a win. So, you know, that you're looking at all these games, but it's how you deal with it in the moment. Spurs, though, this will give them a bit of energy, and let's see, and they need some players to come back from injury. It's been a nightmare for Spurs.
That feels like the first positive for Spurs. And while the other 3 we've had more positives about in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah,
definitely. I think there was no way that Spurs were not going to win this game. Of course, they left it a little bit late, but I think, for me, for this run-in for Spurs, they have to have Solanke and Simons available. And if they can get them fit, it gives them the better chance to stay up.
First win as the Spurs boss, Spurs' first win of the calendar year. What does this mean to you and the club?
I am happy for the result. I'm happy because it was important to win a game after Brighton, because also with Brighton we deserve to win. Nothing changed on the table because West Ham won at the end of the game. But after these 3 points, we can prepare much better the next 4 games.
Nothing has changed in the table, you're quite right, you both won. But in terms of nothing changing, psychologically for Tottenham, there now is belief in the stands for the fans and also for the players that they know how to win games of football.
Yes, of course. We have to believe in to stay up and to win the games, because we have the quality enough to win the games. The players are very good players, and these 3 points, I think, and I hope they can become important for the head, for the mentality, for the enthusiasm to prepare the next games.
You mentioned high-quality players. It wasn't a high-quality performance from both sides, really. Do you sense there's a tension from your players when they take the pitch?
No, I think we played very well in the first 30-35 minutes, with order, with knowledge, with a good style. And then we lost distances. Maybe we suffered too much pressure, and we didn't play well. But anyway, when we are in the difficult moment of the game, we have to believe in our style, in what they are able to do. Don't forget to keep the order on the pitch, to knowledge with the ball, the occupation of the spaces, and the way we have to attack the last 20 meters. In the winger position or between the lines, and they know, but maybe the mental part was crucial, and the pressure was high, and we suffer a little bit.
Congratulations. Everyone connected with Spurs said a win would change everything. Is that how it feels?
I don't know if hopefully it changed. That's the reality, but this victory, it's much more than that for me and for my teammates, and especially for all the club, for the supporters as well. It's not a normal season that we have been living until today. We all have responsibility in this season, but the reality is we have 4 finals into the final of the league, and we need to do our job, and hopefully this win can change what happened on the past, give us a bit more motivation as well, because it's been a long time without victories. and especially in some of the games that we should take in some more points, much more. I think happened a lot, but sometimes it's the details. But what we can control right now is making our job until the end of the season and try to keep the club where he belongs, which is the Premier League, and is much more than that. And yeah, we all want to give something, and we will give everything that we have until the end of the season, because it means a lot for us keep with the Premier League.
How important could that goal, Danny, be for Tottenham Hotspur?
Well, it gives them hope. I mean, they're still behind, but yeah, without that goal, they were in a world of trouble climbing a mountain to get back to West Ham if they hadn't got the winner. So it'll give everyone a lift. Training ground will be easier this week. Yeah, a bit of confidence, and then I think they've got Villa away next. But just one game at a time for Tottenham. That's all they can do.
Yeah, let's have a look at the goal. It was a tight call, wasn't it, Darren, in terms of being on or offside, but it stood, and it kind of summed up the game for Tottenham. It was scrappy at times.
Yeah, it was. Richarlison's at the heart of it. I mean, there always seems to be chaos when he's ever on the pitch, and I'm surprised he doesn't play more, but for Paulinho, he does really well. I mean, Doherty keeping him onside there. But again, Paulinho there, it's almost like a striker's instinct, just kind of keeps himself onside. He anticipates that maybe something might drop there, and it does. And he finishes it really well. I mean, he's on the stretch, anticipates, drops to him, just gets enough on it. You can see there, just the end of his toe. So sneaking in that near post. It was a big goal and a big moment for Tottenham there.
Would De Zerbi have liked what he saw at moments, Danny, from Tottenham?
Not really. No, I thought it was poor compared to last week's performance. I mean, yes, the injuries didn't help. They lost a bit of rhythm. Well, they didn't have much to begin with, to be honest. He'll want a better performance than that.
Yeah. What about the Anton Kinski save at the end to deny Joao Gomez? Darren?
Yeah, I was happy for him after the difficulties he had in the Champions League, getting dragged off after, 15 minutes. This is a big save at a big moment, almost the last kick of the game. It's a great free kick, but he gets across, uses his feet really well, gets across the goal, gets a good two hands on it as well, and palms it out for a corner. But it's a really good save and a big moment for him, I think, Murph.
Huge. And huge for his confidence the next few games as well, because that Atletico experience will have stayed with him, and now he's back in. He'll be getting a lot of pats on the back in the dressing room. He'll be feeling much better about himself.
Yeah, it's a win that they needed, because this is what happened at the London Stadium, where we've shown you already. Callum Wilson's on to wrap up the points for Nuno Espirito Santo's side. But this is the story of the game, Danny, and this is 1-0 Thomas Souček.
Well, Souček, we know what he can do. He's phenomenal in both boxes, and he's come up over the years. So many important goals for West Ham, and at the time, this one was huge for them because you felt like it was going to give them the 3 points. But Everton were resilient, weren't they? They kept pushing. West Ham dropped off, and they've done this a lot actually this season. Everton come back in late in games. Brilliant finish from Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, Keenan Dewsbury Hall's been a big player, hasn't he, for David Moyes. And then, Darren, the drama was to come, because it's an incredible sort of turnaround, isn't it, in the second half on goal rush in the space of 3 minutes. Then this happens later on in the game.
It's great play from Jarrod Bowen, because he could go for goal there, but he just leaves it in an area, and Callum Wilson anticipates it, pulls out a little bit, and then it's just about, can he get a good contact on it? And he does it. I mean, it's a fantastic ball in. I said Jarrod Bowen can go for goal, but he leaves it. Really intelligent play. And Callum Wilson, then when it drops to him, can he get a good contact on it? He does, into the ground, and he wins the game for West Ham.
And he is catching you up nearly in the 100 club as well, is Callum Wilson. Let's hear from West Ham's match winner.
You must be really pleased with your contribution.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's probably credit to the work you do behind the scenes. You know, I think try to be an example to the younger players when you're not playing, when you're not getting the minutes that you like. Stay professional, stay ready for your opportunity, and whether that's 5-10 minutes, whether it's starting the game, you've got to make sure that you're ready. And today, thankfully, it paid off and I got myself a goal.
Yeah, but what was it feeling like when that ball goes into the back of the net and you see the fans around you? You mentioned just off camera that the players jumped on your head, but you're seeing the fans get up on their feet and celebrating.
Yeah, it's amazing to share that with them. They've created a great atmosphere today, especially when we was 1-0 up. And yeah, it's fantastic to score. I think it's probably a little bit of relief. It's been a while. Probably a little bit of frustration in there as well and things like that. So you have a point to prove ultimately when you do come on the field and you're not playing as regularly as you want to. And hopefully now we can kick on, I can kick on and try and add a few more before the end of the season.
So having seen what you've seen, guys, over the last 90 minutes, are you still backing Tottenham in this race to avoid relegation?
I don't know, I might change my mind. I thought they had some momentum after the performance against Brighton, and they were poor today. They got away with it against a poor Wolves side. I mean, toss a coin, but I think West Ham now, maybe. They're playing better.
To the wire, do you think, Darren?
Yeah, to the end? I think it's going to go all the way, but West Ham certainly, out of the two sides, they've got a little bit more spirit about them, regardless. Even going back to 1-1, to go on and get that winner as well, I think that will give them massive confidence.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed that with you two this afternoon. It's been a long 6 hours, isn't it? The first game, not so great, Fulham against Aston Villa, but we got there in the end, didn't we? And I tell you something else that